Hi, Manya. I like the American Promise video a lot, actually. It's been really interesting and cool to put all this, theory and these studies and all this reading into kind of a real place, like a perspective, with real people, and it's good to see. And that kid is hilarious. I forget his name. Odiris, something like that. But one thing we spoke about in class was this idea of performance enhancing drugs, I guess you could say. The Adderall, Ritalin, whatever. It's Adderall now, I think, but I've had a little bit of personal experience with that. Not that I've been prescribed. I probably could if I went into a doctor and said, I think I have ADD. They'd probably hook me up, but um, that's pretty much how it works. I think is if you want the drug, then you can find a doctor to give it to you. But I have, we mentioned that it's a drug, Adderall. I'm talking about. This is the only drug I have. My sister has ADHD, in quotes. But I don't know if that's actually true, really. She's kind of the same as me, and I don't feel like I have ADHD, but she struggled with school, and it was a motivation thing, if you ask me. But she started taking Adderall, and that stuff works. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I borrowed some for finals in at CU Boulder, and at CU Boulder when final times came around, like you know, everyone had their drug of choice to study for finals because you put in 10, 12 hour days just studying for all these crazy tests you've got to take. So you really can't do that unless you're unless you have some sort of performance enhancing drug. But like you said, it's an enhancement for anyone, and it really is. You For people who have ADHD, it's something that they actually need, and unfortunately, a lot of people abuse it, and doctors aren't necessarily selective enough in who they give it to. What else do I want to talk about? So I thought that these were just really good people, and in this video, The American Promise, the parents just seem like really kind-hearted, and their intentions are right. They all go about it differently, and we can make judgments all we want, but I'm wondering, what is the best way? No one really knows. It kind of depends, but I think um, I really enjoyed watching these people raise these kids because I think it's fun to see um, good people raising kids, and it seems like it's working. But you said it had a sad ending, so not sure what to expect there. But let me see here. What did I want to say? Um, you know, in the movie there was a lot of, and you've talked about it as well, how there was pressure from, is it Odiris? I forget his name, but there was pressure for that one kid to act more black, and he was acting like a white kid, and there was a lot of pressure in that respect. And I think honestly that's part of the problem is like this kid, he can't. I don't want to say it's white. He's a smart kid, He's acting. He's just talking the way he's been brought up to talk, and it's kind of sad that he's getting pressure to not talk that way and not act that way, and that's sort of what I've had multiple blogs about, and I think that's really one of the main problems, if you ask me, is that there is this pressure to you know to be black, but what does that really mean? You can be any way you want. Like just because you're you look a certain way doesn't mean you have to act a certain way. People can act. I could act however I want, really. It doesn't necessarily, the way I look doesn't delineate how I act. So, I just wanted to make that point that this is a good example of what I've been trying to say. I don't know if I'm articulating my thoughts very well in these blogs, but yeah, I'll just leave it at that. We're at 5:30, so.